I will show you how I clean my brushes. Just so you know, my studio is a separate building from my main house, and we don't have water. So I came up with a system for cleaning brushes without depending on the water source. I use Gamsol to clean my brushes. And if we're using water-soluble or water-based medium, like water mixable paint or acrylics, you can use soap and water, but you have to go to the sink. So this is the brush cleaning tank that you can buy. It has this metal coil inside, and this will keep the sedimentation of the paint pigment in the bottom of the jar while you're cleaning the brush inside this. Also, it helps releasing the pigment from the brush between the bristle hair. I'm just going to add this clean Gamsol that I was using for thinning because it has some contamination, so it's not really clean anymore. So I'm just going to put that in here. This is another Gamsol container. I'm just going to combine them. What I want is just maybe deep enough Gamsol above the metal coil to soak just the bristle part of the brush. I don't want to soak my brush any deeper than the base of this bristle. I don't want to soak the brush in the liquid beyond the ferrule of the brush, if I can. I will never leave paint brushes soaked in the Gamsol overnight. I've seen some artists do. I don't want to do that. And if you need to add more, I will replenish the Gamsol with clean Gamsol from the jar. But I try not to use up clean Gamsol. I want to recycle the old dirty Gamsols for cleaning as much as I can. And here is the thing. I have a stack of paper towel that I tore in half. All right, so here we go. First, I soak the bristle part in the Gamsol tank, and I remove the paint as much as I can. I would actually do this as step one if I have a lot of paint on the bristle, but I didn't. So I just went straight into the Gamsol and then wipe the paint on the paper towel. So here's the thing. Whenever I wiggle the bristle with paper towel, I try to secure the ferrule part of the metal part, the ferrule of the brush with my fingers, instead of holding onto the wood brush handle, because the last thing I want is to stress the glue and attachment of this metal ferrule on the wood handle, and when it becomes weaker, it becomes extra space and it becomes looser, and in worst case it starts spinning or it becomes really wobbly, like driving on wobbly wheel, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm securing the ferrule and wiggle the bristle like this, and I just squeeze out the paint. Once I start seeing a lot of paint getting released to the paper towel, then I hold on to the handle gently. If possible, I would hold on to the ferrule to make sure that I'm not stressing the attachment. Then I wiggle this brush hair against the metal. This let the Gamsol go in between the hair and helps releasing the pigment. Old pigment sink down in the bottom. I just keep squeezing out this Gamsol. What was that? That was a little insect. Must be spring. There are some insects in the studio. You see, the paper towel becomes less and less dirty. And my goal is to make sure that the paper towel doesn't become dirty anymore when I do this. Oh, ladybug! Do you see that? Tiny ladybug, baby bug. Okay, I'm just using different part of the paper towel. You see the paper towel is not dirty, not too dirty anymore. It doesn't matter if it has some color on the bristle, as long as it doesn't contaminate my next painting mixture with old paint. Okay, that's close enough. You see, I had this empty jar. I'm going to fill this with clean Gamsol. This becomes my rinsing Gamsol. So you see, I have two jars. I have one for washing and rinsing, and the other one is for thinning. But if you have only two, you can just multi-purpose the rinsing container, rinsing Gamsol for rinsing and thinning the paint. Now I'm going to take this over here. You see, this is also like very shallow. Can you see? It's not very deep. I just want it to be deep enough to submerge the bristle to the base of the ferrule. And also, I can just press this down and tap the bristle into the bottom of the jar to release any last-minute pigment from here. Then I'm going to squeeze out the Gamsol and done. I'm going to do the same thing with this because I used this today. This is the watercolor fine brush. I used black, so it should release a lot of pigment, but they're getting very clean here. Now I'm cleaning this and rinsing in clean Gamsol a couple of times, and I'm gonna reshape this guy and put it sideways on the table until they dry. Then I can put this back on the brush stand once they are dry, because you never want to have any fluid, including water, going inside the ferrule. And worst case scenario is that your brush with wood will expand with moisture and break out this coating of the paintbrush. It becomes pretty ugly. This is what I mean. This got so loose that I had to completely remove this and reinsert it with epoxy. And the epoxy had some color in it. I think epoxy should be usually transparent, but this wasn't transparent epoxy. So I did complete surgery on this. Now this is more stable, but you can see the paint coat, the brush coating just chipped off. So I want to avoid that. So now you know how to clean the brushes without water. And for the last 2 hours, I've been just working in front of my easel. Hey guys, this is one way you can save your precious time. And I'm saving the Gamsol like this too. I will create a different tutorial video about the Gamsol. So I save a lot of time and money on my materials and painting process. I hope you enjoyed it.